Hello, Assalamu alaikum and welcome everybody. My name is Adel Salman, not Kadmani, but I thought that's a nice name as well. So, yes, I have been a long time Palestinian supporter like all of you. I am the Vice President of the State Council Victoria, which has been a very strong supporter of Palestine and continues to be. I'm here not to necessarily tell you any personal stories apart from one, which I will mention briefly, but to let you know that there is good news. There is good news. And I can see some physical looks on people's faces. Where is the good news? The good news is that the Palestine cause is being strengthened on a daily basis around the world. And whilst our numbers here today are small, I think the weather has a large part of this. The support in Australia is very strong and growing. And across the globe, support for Palestine and Palestinian rights is seen, rightly so, as it has always been, essentially a struggle for human rights and justice, and an essential struggle. And the Palestinian cause is being taken up by many, many people who are passionate about social justice, and they're making this a cause that is dear and central to their social justice platform. The BDS movement has been an amazing success and continues to be a success and will become even more successful. The BDS movement cannot be ignored. It has generated such momentum, and a sign that it is taken very seriously is the response from the Israeli government and from its supporters, whether it be in the US, in Europe, or what have you. The more virulent the attacks on those who support BDS and those who are advocating for BDS and Palestinian rights, the more that we know that the Palestinian cause is becoming more and more and more accepted and supported amongst the mainstream. And that is such an important step. That's such an important milestone. It is no longer a fringe issue. It's no longer an issue of those who are Palestinian or Arab descent or those on the left, but it's coming to the mainstream now. And universities across the Western world are very strong supporters in general of Palestine. Very strong supporters of Palestine. And even the media and narrative is changing. Yes, we still have media who are mouthpieces for the Israeli occupation and aggression and American support thereof. And America continues to act with impunity, just like they did recently with the announcement that they recognise Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and the move with the embassy, and so on and so forth. That continues to happen and will continue to happen, and we should never imagine that they will change that. But those who stand against that, and those who are opposing that, and those who are undermining that, and those who are highlighting the hypocrisy of that, those voices are growing. And I think that is the good news story. That's not to say that victory is at hand, but it is to say that victory can be seen, that we can imagine victory now. What that victory looks like, we actually don't know yet. But it is clear that the Palestinian people continue to show remarkable steadfastness, courage, passion. They have not given up. They have not sold out their cause. The number of Palestinians in East Jerusalem who have resisted in amazing pressure to vacate East Jerusalem, to hand over their property, and to effectively hand over their identity, and have said, no, we will not. Those in the West Bank who continue to resist occupation. Those in Gaza who continue to resist occupation. And the incidents, or the atrocity and the aggression that we've seen in the last week that has resulted in death and destruction. The narrative has been, well, Israel is just defending itself. It was an unprovoked aggression and they're responding to it. We all know that's a lie, because the aggression is ongoing. Israeli aggression against Gaza is ongoing. Them blockading Gaza, them creating such horrible conditions for the inhabitants of Gaza. Them and their supporters in Egypt and other places, they have maintained the aggression against the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people have a right to resist, have a right to respond. And I think that message is now being more understood by people. When they hear in the media Israel is defending itself, I think a lot of people say, well, that is nonsense, that's a lie, that's not true, the reality is this. So I think we need to keep up our efforts, continue to challenge the authorities, the Australian government to do more, and continue to protest and express our solidarity with Palestinian people. And as I've said, I think there is some positive news, inshallah, ahead of us. When that will be and what that will look like, we don't know yet, but inshallah it's coming. So that's my opinion. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Adel. Now I'd like to thank everyone finally for coming out here today. I think Adel really left us on a strong note that the struggle is ongoing. We shouldn't be surprised by Israeli aggression. We shouldn't be surprised by American support and their imperialist agendas. But we should all stand and come out for Palestine time and time again. Now I'd like everyone to keep an eye out for the next rally, which will be for the Al-Nakba. And it's really important because it marks the day in 1948 when the Israeli state was created and the Palestinian people were exiled out of their homes. And it's really important to remember that because Palestinians are continually being forced out of their homes. The Israeli state orders every day new home demolitions for their settlements. Hundreds of Palestinians are out in the streets, homes that they've lived in for generations destroyed, to make way for settlers. That is the Palestinian story. It's the story of expulsion and oppression. We all know this here today, because we together know the Palestinian story. But the Australian public doesn't know it. So I urge everyone to talk about Palestine and to engage with your friends and your family and to come out for the next protest or the next action, because together we grow in number and our voices grow together. So thank you, everyone. To finalize our vigil today, I'd like to call up Samah Sabawi, who'd like to give a poem that she's written. Please everyone give her a warm welcome. So much to talk about really, but I kind of had to, I got the last speaker, so I'm going to take it easy on you. And I want to speak about the idea of banning Palestinian voices, particularly. When Edward Said was commenting in 1982 about the coverage of the war in Melbourne, he wrote a very famous essay that became something that we use quite a lot on. And the essay was titled Permission to Narrate. In this essay, he argued that despite images of Israel's brutality and savage behavior during the 1982 siege of Beirut, a campaign by pro-Zionist groups attacking the media and accusing it of a pro-PLO slant succeeded in silencing criticism of Israel within the mainstream media outlets. In Said's words, it was as if millions of feet of newsreel were less trustworthy than the impressions of a supporter of Israel. More than 30 years have passed since Said wrote these words, and Palestinians are still asking for permission to narrate their lives, their experiences, their stories. And they're still being faced with attempts to marginalize, silence, and ignore our voices. Many of us here have heard, and I think somebody just referred to it earlier, that Palestinian-American poet Rami Kinazi has fallen victim to these latest attempts. According to news.com, in an article that they published, the Australian government was urged to ban him from speaking in order to appease what the article called Jewish leaders, which we all know really means the pro-Israel Zionist groups in this country. The same groups that called my play, Tales of a City by the Sea, a few years ago anti-Semitic and tried to have it banned as well. And so we're all too familiar to this horrible attempts at suppression that don't ease up. I want to urge you to please sign the online petition to lift the ban on Rami Kanazi in order for him to come and speak to us and share with us his poems. And when I thought about choosing a poem to share with you today, I thought it was only fitting to share a poem about writing, about words. And I want to dedicate this poem to Rami Kanazi and to all the Palestinian poets and writers who have faced attempts at erasure of their voices and their experiences. The poem is called Words. I've been down this road before. Someone tries to teach me how to use words that can open doors, giving me tips in communication. Instead of saying apartheid, try a system of segregation. Downplay the Nakba and focus more on the occupation. And if you're writing a statement, be sure to start each paragraph with clear support for the two-state solution, and don't forget to end it with a Hamas condemnation. Words. I stand dispossessed. No Congress behind me. No statesmen surround me. No longing to breathe. No fire, media eager for peace. No freely accepted intellectual gestures. I can never clouds and policy experts. Not see the big elephant present. No legal acrobat stands for me on the thin road of decency. No politicians juggle oppression and human rights on my behalf. No tricks to boost careers for MPs and their wives. No radio broadcasts. No myths. No lies. No Hasbroonites. No country. No army. Not even one leader to believe in. All I have are my words to tell my story, my voice to demand justice. And you're telling me my language is too strong. You may perfect the skill of delusion and the talent of denial. You may express regret and lament and cry tears of indignation. You may even insist you're on my side. But without naming the crimes they commit, without saying ethnic cleansing and apartheid, your words ring hollow. So let me hold on to my words. I use them sparingly. I utter one word and a house is resurrected from memory on a hill in Palestine. I utter another and I'm in a courtyard under a sycamore tree and another, and the scent of jasmine fills the air. Words lift me up from despair and take me home. Words disarm tyrants, bring down empires, and reveal all that the oppressors wish to conceal. My humanity. I stand dispossessed of everything but my words. They are words of truth, of fire and steel. I use them deliberately, not to incite hatred, not to frighten, but to lighten up this darkness that has torn me into 11 million pieces. Words tell my story. Nakba, Naksa, forced exile, ethnic cleansing, apartheid. Words, carefully chosen, purposely uttered. These are the words that lay the foundation for the language of my liberation. Thank you. And please, everyone, don't forget boycotts, divestments, and sanctions.